What's up everybody, we're back with another video. Now in today's video I want to go ahead and feed all my fish so you guys can see them eating, and also because I picked up some new food that I want to try out and I'm really excited for. So before we get into today's video and take a look at the food I'm on about, please go ahead and like, subscribe, ding that notification bell, and go ahead and follow me on Instagram where you guys can get daily updates on what goes on in the fish room whilst I'm not actually in the fish room. The updates are mostly off the fish room and as well as the cube tank. So the food I'm on about is absolute Arowana, and I got it from Predator Aquatics, and I'm quite excited for it just because I used to feed most of my fish on the Hikari pellets, and whilst I really do like Hikari pellets, I did want to try something different. Not for any sort of, and I'm not like having issues with them or anything like that, but I just wanted to see what other foods were out there, and it's okay to try things once in a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and give these guys some of this as well as their normal food. So let me go ahead, set you guys up, and you guys can take a look at me feeding this guy. So I'm not gonna be feeding all my tanks today. I'm just gonna be feeding this tank. I'm gonna be feeding the 180 as well as the 4-foot aquarium. The reason is obviously I have 3 Arowanas, I have 2 Asian Arowanas, I have 1 silver Arowana, and this food is designed for primarily Asian Arowana, but I just want to see how the other guys do take it. And yeah, so let me go ahead and see if I can feed these guys. I'm too short. So this is not the Arowana's food, this is just some Hikari Cichlid XL, and I give this to the cichlids just so that they eat as much of it as possible so the Arowana can get the most of the food. I'm going to go ahead and get myself a stool though, because I'm too short to see where the opening for this is and I don't want to waste this. Alright, but I'm quite excited for this, so hopefully the Arowanas like this. Might actually be too big for them. I'll show you guys how big it is. You guys can see that. Maybe the lighting's not the best, but it is fairly big, so I mean, I think this guy can eat it. I just hope that the rest of the cichlids are going to struggle, and so it's only going to be for the bigger fish. So as you can see, some of the smaller cichlids are able to fit that into their mouths, and as you can see, the Vieja just had a whole lot in his mouth and spat it out. I think the Arowana is having a bit of a trouble getting it down. I have noticed this with Arowana though, they don't like their food being hard, so I think it just needs to soften up a bit for them to really, you know, go after them. I had this issue with my silver Arowana when I was feeding them the floating cichlid pellets. They used to have an issue with them compared to this carnivore sticks because I think the round shape of them made them harder, so they didn't like it. They liked the taste of it, but they obviously didn't like the texture of it. So yeah, so from the look of it, the Arowana is interested, but I think he, is in two minds. I don't think he was too happy with that. But as you can see, the cichlids are fine. Cichlids are a garbage truck though versus Arowana. Arowana, whilst I'm quite glad that my Arowana aren't picky, they're not picky about what they eat, but they're picky about the texture of what they're eating. So, you know, they probably are very into it. Like you can see, he keeps on going back for more. But it's just, I think, the texture that's getting him down. But in all fairness, they are smaller Arowana. I think this is designed for larger Arowana. You know, you're talking about over a foot. This guy's about 8 inches, maybe 7 inches, 8 inches at the moment. So he is having an issue with the food, and that might just be what it is. So what we'll do is we'll confirm it when we feed it to the silver Arowana, because obviously he's a bigger fish, he, whatever it is, and if this guy wolfs it down, it's probably just because the pellet's too big and too hard. So they're definitely just struggling to break it up in their mouths. But as you can see, he keeps on going back for it. He definitely likes the taste of it, he likes the smell of it. But I think he's definitely just... well, he's doing too much work for his food and he doesn't like that. So, we'll leave them here for now. I'll go ahead and feed the other guys, see how they do. So before we go ahead and feed the Arowana pellets, I'm just going to feed them their normal. I've got some frozen prawns that I've defrosted, as well as the sinking sickly pellets. So I'm going to go ahead and feed them again, just because I don't really want to be feeding this food to these guys. I really do want to save it mostly for the Asian Arowanas that I have. So let me go ahead and feed these guys. Give me a sec. So as always, they love their frozen pellets. You can definitely see that the Ado pike has gotten a lot more confident in the last few months, and he is going after all the food. As you can see, Silver Arowana definitely likes to go and get them as well. Send down some sinking pellets just for the bottom dwellers. I mean, I do say sinking pellets for the bottom dwellers, but everyone does tend to eat them, as you can see. The Barbs like them, the Garami likes them, Midas loves them, Oscar likes them. I think the only one that doesn't really eat them is the Ado pike. But can you blame him? Not really. Alright, so the Arowana, as you can see, is looking for some more food. So let's watch this guy and see if he eats it all. I mean, he definitely take a big swipe out of them, but I think he swallowed them straight away when he saw that prawn. The good news is he definitely swallowed them. She, he, it. But, you know, this is meant to be a kind of food that represents or replicates sort of insect larvae, which is the sort of food that Arowana tend to eat in the wild. They tend to eat insects that get too close to the water or that fall into the water. And I think my hunch was right. I think that this is definitely designed for larger Arowana. I don't think it was an issue of they don't like the taste. I think it is simply an issue that it's too big for their mouths and they can't break it up properly, so they can't really swallow it, and they need to wait for it to soften in the water. So what I might do, not today, but maybe moving forward, is I'll try it again for the smaller Asian Arowana. I've still got a last Arowana to try it on. But I'll try it on the smaller Asian Arowana and see if they would prefer it to be soaked first, so it just softens up a bit. I'm gonna try it a bit more of this. So from the look of it, I don't think the silver is recognizing it as food until he's, I think, getting it right in his face and smelling it. Okay, maybe now he's starting to get it. Oh, he spat one out. But I think mostly from the look of it, it needs to become softer. So something you can do to make this sort of food softer is essentially to let it go stale. Because what happens is, it's kind of like a biscuit. When you have a biscuit, it's quite hard and crumbly, but if you let a biscuit go stale, it becomes softer and it loses that rigidity. So maybe letting these go stale for a bit might be the best option for these guys. They might prefer it if they're more stale. But again, I mean, I'd rather not do that. And actually, you know, like, whilst the Arowana himself hasn't really eaten too many of them, you can see that even the Ado pike has gone after a few of these pellets, so definitely there is something about either the smell of the pellets or the taste that these guys really do like. But yeah, they seem to be having a hard time adjusting. But there is also the adjustment period. They can be a bit finicky about new foods, so it might just be that as well. I am going off of what I'm seeing as opposed to just what is part of their nature. Wow, I don't know if you saw that, Daisy just spat out a heck of a lot of food. And the Arowana is definitely not happy about that. Yeah, so let me go ahead and let me go ahead and feed this last Arowana and see if this guy will have any sort of difference of opinion. Alright, so time for the final one. So as per the usual, I also feed this tank the Cichlid XL for the tinfoil bobs and for the silver dollars. The Arowana tends to eat them. Woo! I was not expecting that. But as you can see, he's definitely going to smash that. So let's go see how well they do with this. Okay, so again, not successful. Apparently it seems like the Asian Arowana do not like this food. The silver Arowana, well, I say not like, sorry. It's not that they don't like it, it's just that they don't swallow it. I think that they do like it. Again, going back to my theory, it's just not the right texture for them. I think this is aimed at bigger Arowana. But like I said, I will try and update, and it might just take a bit of time for them to get used to this new food. Because that's what Arowana are like. They don't really like change as often as other foods, other fish, sorry. Cichlids don't really have an issue. They eat anything and everything. But it is what it is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to feed these guys some shrimp, just for your entertainment. So that was pretty much it for today's video. Like I said, these guys might be needing an adjustment period, or it might just be too small to eat this food at the moment. But I will continue to try and feed them on it, because obviously, you know, this has been designed specifically for Arowana. Might be very picky, and this is not a product review or anything like that. So, you know, please don't go off my words. It is just me trying new food out. I was quite excited to see how it works. I thought it'd be take off a bit better than it did, but you know, it's not really the end of the world. I got plenty of food to feed these guys on. Like I said, I go strong with hikari. I feed them frozen shrimp, and I was trying this out because it's always good to have options. You never know when you need them, but if you know that your fish like it, you can always give it to them. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys are keeping safe, and as always, peace out.